The city of Selm, the coil of Adamassian mines, birthplace of the Malorian line, and the tomb of the Erlendi. Welcome, however this may be, to the city of Selm, or, as it is colloquially called, the coil of Adamassian mines. At the time I am writing this, the city has been locked away within the Bufo cap, its residents locked away with it to ensure the knowledge of the knowledge of the Erlendi cannot be taken by our numerous enemies. Thus, this is also our tomb, but it is a tomb of our choosing. All of us here democratically and unanimously voted to die within this wondrous city, all of us willing to perish so that the enemy's march of death is halted, at least somewhat. I should inform you, everyone in the city is dead, no matter when you read this, for I am the last remaining. We were given a rather painless poison by the Fey Lurdoran? But I am the High Cleric of Gilean, and I will not die before I see the souls of my many brothers and sisters cleansed in the eyes of every single god in this blasted world. I pray so unyieldingly for my friends, my family, to find each other once more in the rivers of Mordom. I pray the next world we see is far more kind. I pray the people are far less full of hate, that I may find my loved ones again, and that I may find more to fill this long, emptied heart of mine. The Dragon King, Glaucon Meridian, son of Messiandos and self-professed King of the Southern Realms, has betrayed the Erlendi and is now aiding in our slaughter upon his bedraggled wings. To say he has besmirched the Meridian name would be far too lenient. He has not dragged it not through the mud, nor has he sullied it, as one may be inclined to say. Neither phrase does it justice, for it is not mud it is being dragged through, nor is it sullied by some unidentifiable or undistinguishable thing. It is sullied by its long and protracted saturation in our blood. I wish I could give you a reason as to why this worm has done such things to our land and our people, though that is a mystery even to the grandest of our divination sages. We will never get answers.
He's just a bitch.
Yeah, man.
I guess.
All I can hope for is that he has long been slain, and his head has been paraded through the streets of a reclaimed Cruel or a freed Crête de la, a Meridian family tradition, as it were. Wow! Damn, that's really brutal. But
his brothers' heads were paraded through Crête de la.
By the humans. Mm-hmm. But enough of that. This is not about the filthy spawn of Ivar the Duplicitous. What?
Run that back?
What?
Run that back?
What? This is not about the filthy spawn of Ivar the Duplicitous. This is about the city which you now stand. What the fuck? You can't just drop that. In awe, no doubt. This city was founded in the year 1428 within the First Age of Elves. 428 within the First Age of Elves. Its roots are not humble as many other cities might be. Far from it, as the founder of our city was none other than the first sage, the first sorcerer. Ildelintra? What the fuck is this? Ildelintra Malorian. Ildelintra was the first ruler of the Erlendi, a grand inquisitor of knowledge and power for good, and a grandmother to us all. The Malorian line fell into power a few decades after the Great Dividing of Elvenkind in 389 First Age of Elves, and was instrumental in our position of power and our wealth of knowledge as we see it today. They were the first to discover the concept of raw magic, and were responsible for the creation of 3 of the 8 schools of the arcane: transmutation, evocation, and abjuration. These 3 schools, as you may already know, are known as the Motherfucker, Avery, what the fuck? Donam Avri, or the Dawning of 3 in common, for these are the schools of magic that each of the remaining 4 are derived from. Necromancy is not a school derived from the 3, however. Its nature is foreign and strange, pallid and untrodden. Ildelintra, regal and renowned, was recognized fully as a ruler during the signing of the Pact of Natural Order in 467 First Age of Elves, which has been kept here for safekeeping, ironically. Her innate connection to Hecate allowed her to commune with magic at a level most could only dream of. She forged many dozens of spells through said meditation, and through these spells, more spells have been made. Mausan of fucking, why did you put so much Elven in this? Mausan ave ana ro mortem, no, wow. May the river of mortem not wash your soul clean. Ildilincha. Sumptuous sage, Ildilincha was cut down during the War of the Chaos Kings, slain in the year 680, First Age of Elves, by Prince Azad Heltarim, nearly the last of his line, though at this point we know the fruits of his polluted loins, and we know them well. She was buried in the grand communal crypts, Varsu, along with all of her...
You know one other Heltarim.
Yeah. What's his name? I forget.
Gamarian.
Gamarian.
That's his last name.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
There's too much to deal with in this one. Okay, by Prince Azad Heltarim, alright. Nearly last of his line, alright, okay. She was buried in the grand communal crypts Varsu along with all of her fallen soldiers, and right beside every other Erelendish citizen who has passed since, as is our tradition. Wow, Varsu is literally the burial ground for the Erelendi? That's a bummer. I cannot help but wonder what golden coffin Glaucon has forced his slaves to manufacture for his passing. Will it be tossed into the ocean, or perhaps thrown into another plane? For it could not possibly be touched by the dirtied hands of those unwilling to commit genocide. What the fuck is happening? Again, I differ from the appropriate topic of discussion. I apologize. Please finish your train of thought, my guy.
I want to hear more about Glaucon being a bitch.
I know! The city became a thriving hub of knowledge in the latter portions of the First Age, and all throughout this second, due to the frequent visits of Misiandos, may she rest easily and may her soul truly be seen through the eyes of Gilean. The Dragon Queen had kindled a beautiful relationship with the Erelendi, particularly the Erelendi within the city of Selm, and even more so with Lady Zatharis Malorian. We began to share our traditions freely with Misiandos, seeing the kindness of her heart, and in return she began to share her vast knowledge of the arcane and of the Isles of the Dread Queen, though at this point they were not called as such. Instead they were called Isle a Nervasis. Our matron mother and the Cerulean sovereign had fostered a beautiful relationship between them, so much so in fact that by the end of Misiandos' life, Our Lady had become known as the Dragon's Council. Oh! No doubt, due to the extensive and unparalleled wisdom offered by our matron mother, Lady Zatharis Malorian. Wow. And she's just buried? You'd think she'd have a bigger tomb. She held that title until Glaucon stripped it from her, the bitch, and placed it upon the archmages that ruled so weakly over the Tower of the Grand Seven Sages. Fucking pussy-ass motherfucker.
I wanna be motherfucking.
Wow.
How could you do
My mom actually was wrong. I don't like that you guys have cool magic and white hair. Fuck you. Regardless of this decision, the city grew with its reputation, drawing in the most powerful druids, sages, sorcerers, and artificers from across Hindoran, as well as becoming home to many of the brilliant scholars, archaeologists, and engineers of Adamas. This concentration of arcane and secular knowledge brought about the golden age of the Erelendi and was no doubt the reason for our downfall. The Erelendi, along with the dwarves of Avenor, although much of their knowledge was lost with the collapse of the city, have become masters of transmutation, a primary focus of the arcane. This pursuit was due entirely in the fact that transmutation is by far the most complex of all the schools of mortal magic, and is therefore the ripest with possibility of further knowledge. However, not all of the Erelendi are as altruistic as I may hope, for mortality breeds many emotions, though many forget we are mortal, even ourselves. There are some that wish to delve into aspects of transmutation that needn't be explored, and there are those that delved so unwittingly with abominable repercussions. These transgressions against the mortal thread of our reality have metastasized, and have only furthered the evil in the world. And it is we as a people, I fear, that have transgressed most heinously in recent times, even if such things were not our intention. It is no surprise that these events would come to pass, for none other than the Erelendi could have discovered such things, and for this we have all suffered. There isn't but a shadow of a doubt within my mind that this is precisely the reason for the annihilation of Cruel and the decimation of the land preceding it, for there is no greater power in that city than in any other in the world, the power of gods themselves, a place so aptly named Cathedra Roeth Kul, I could do that one, roughly translated to Throne of the All-Soul.
Ooh.
I am sure the Library of Cassius was another temptation. Fuck, there's a fucking library, too. I am sure the Library of Cassius was another temptation that drove the shriveled puppets of Draugen to such surreptitiously evil deeds. It is a mystery to me why such a place was even made, for the sages of Cruel, the eyes within the lake, as they are named, were secretive in their endeavors. Secrecy from your own people is very rarely a good sign, and I shudder to think of what may come of it. I know not if Gilean is watching, for there are no verdant willows left within the city of Selm. Long have they been used. But it is now time for my passing regardless. I have lingered far too long. It is time for me to join my brothers and sisters. May we find peace in the moments we spend with the god of death, unmolested by the light of day and the troubles of the living. Warden of the lake, Poliadus Elgyros, something. Why?
Euros.
Can you help?
Nope.
Why?
Because I'm not reading it.